I never thought I'd be 32 years old and feel like I was back in school, being bullied all over again. You know, that pit in your stomach, that tight sinking feeling when you realize you're walking into a place where you don't feel welcome. Yeah, that's been my reality for the last 2 years. I want to share my story. Not because I have all the answers, but because I know there are so many of you out there feeling the same way, feeling trapped, feeling humiliated, feeling like you're losing a piece of yourself every single day at work. When I first started this job, I was excited. Honestly, I was proud of myself. It was a step up in my career, the kind of role I had worked so hard to land. And at first, things seemed fine. My work was good, my numbers were strong. I hit every deadline. I thought, finally, this is where I belong. But slowly, things started to change. It started with small comments, little jabs, the kind of remarks that make you wonder, did I just imagine that? My manager, let's call her Sarah, had this passive aggressive way of speaking to me. In team meetings, she'd compliment everyone else's work and then say something like, well, we'll have to see if you can catch up, won't we? Even when I was ahead of schedule, even when I knew I was delivering some of the best results on the team, at first I brushed it off. I told myself maybe she's just having a bad day, but it kept happening. And then the isolation began. Lunch invitations went out, but somehow I never heard about them. Inside jokes would fly around the office, and I'd just sit there pretending to laugh along. Important discussions happened without me being present, even when they directly impacted my projects. It felt like high school all over again. Except this time, I wasn't 14. I was a grown woman. And this was my career. I can't explain how demoralizing that feels. To know that you're doing your job well, but still be made to feel like you don't belong. I started dreading Mondays. Actually, I started dreading Sundays because I knew Monday was coming. I'd wake up with anxiety before work. On the train, I'd have to fight back tears. I'd sit at my desk, forcing myself to focus, even though all I wanted to do was run to the bathroom and cry. I began questioning everything. Was I really good at my job? Was I difficult to work with? Was there something wrong with me? And then came the shame because I'd think, I'm 32. I shouldn't be dealing with this. I'm too old for this nonsense. But that didn't make the pain go away. After about 6 months of this, I thought, enough is enough. I started applying for other jobs. Every night I'd update my CV, write cover letters, send applications, but nothing came back. Week after week, silence. And with every rejection, I felt more trapped, like there was no escape. I thought about quitting without a plan, but then the fear would creep in, rent, bills, responsibilities. What if I left and didn't find something better? What if this was just how all workplaces are? It started affecting my health. I wasn't sleeping. I was grinding my teeth at night. I'd get home completely exhausted, mentally, emotionally, physically. I'd snap at my partner over nothing. I'd cancel plans with friends because I didn't have the energy to socialize. My world was shrinking. One day, I broke down in the bathroom at work. Not just a few tears, I mean a full ugly shake and cry. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror and thinking, why are people so mean? Why does this have to feel like school all over again? I just want to do my job. That was the day I knew I couldn't do this alone anymore. I reached out to HR. I documented everything, every email, every snide comment, every exclusion. HR did their usual investigation, but nothing changed. So I started looking elsewhere for support, therapy, online communities, books about toxic workplaces. Therapy helped me see that this wasn't about me. It was about my boss's insecurity and the culture she had created. I wasn't broken, I was being bullied. And those are two very different things. I couldn't change Sarah. I couldn't make my colleagues stop gossiping, but I could take small steps to protect myself. I started setting boundaries, politely but firmly. If she made a snide comment, I'd respond with facts instead of shrinking. I stopped joining gossip sessions and instead used that time to take a walk outside. I also began celebrating my own wins, even if no one else acknowledged them. Finished a project early, I treated myself to a nice lunch. Got good results. I wrote them down to remind myself of my value. These small actions didn't fix everything, but they kept me going. I'm still in this job, but something's different now. I'm still looking for a new role, yes, but I don't feel as powerless as I once did. I know my worth. I know I'm a high performer. And if this company doesn't appreciate that, someone else eventually will. I also know that bullying doesn't define me. It doesn't mean I'm weak and it doesn't mean I'm less than. It just means I was put in a toxic situation and I survived. If you're going through something similar, here's what I want you to know. Document everything. Keep records of emails, messages, and incidents. Set boundaries. Be professional, but don't let passive aggressive comments go unchallenged. Find allies. Even one supportive colleague can make a difference. Take care of your mental health, therapy, journaling, exercise, whatever helps you process the stress. Keep applying. Even if you get rejected, keep putting yourself out there. Remind yourself this is not forever. One day you will leave, and this will just be a chapter in your story. If you're listening to this right now and you feel trapped, I want you to know you're not alone. You deserve to work in a place where you're respected. You deserve to feel safe, to feel valued. And one day you'll look back on this moment, just like I'm starting to, and realize that it made you stronger, more resilient, and more determined to create a better future for yourself. Until then, keep going. Keep showing up for yourself. And never forget you are not the problem.